911. No, you can walk away and I'll get your stuff.
Get my stuff.
Yes.
Get my stuff.
Hey, get out.
Relax. Bitch, get my
Call the police. Call the police. Hold on, let me call. Somebody's on the phone with the police, right? Somebody's on the phone with the police, right?
Yeah, I'm on the phone with the police.
Hello, hello, hello. It is Wednesday and it's time for Pop and Politics. We are talking about the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ and let me introduce you to my co-host. Yana is back tonight. Hey. We have T and Shelly E.
We're back.
Crystal is away. She's not feeling well tonight. She will be back next week.
She tried us.
Yeah, she did. She wanted to come, but we were like, stay home and get some rest. But we'll miss her. I know you guys will too, but she will be back next week. All right, so join the conversation by leaving a comment on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. We will check the comments periodically throughout the show. And don't just comment, subscribe. Subscribe to our social media so you always know when we post new content. You can also check us out on our website at www.popandpoliticslive.com for up-to-date information. We are an independent media, and each time you subscribe, each time you like, comment, share, that does make our voice that much stronger. Not to mention, we're also on Rumble. You can also listen to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts. All right, ladies, let's set it off. So as you guys saw, we started the show off. We have so much to talk about tonight, and we are coming in hot. And we want to start off with that video. And it kind of segues us into the rest of the topics, but that video went viral. Not sure if you guys have seen it. It is in a coffee shop in Atlanta, I believe.
Yeah, the airport.
Airport of Atlanta. And apparently they were trying, the lady that you saw, the girl who was fighting the other people in the coffee shop, she had gotten to some type of confrontation with someone behind the register. They told her she had to leave. And she wouldn't leave. She tried to fight them. So my first question is, are they racist? Is this racist because they tried to fight her? She's a black girl, and because this is what we're doing now. We're calling everything racist, right? What do you think, Shelly?
No, I don't think it was racist. I think it was self-defense. But I also will say, if she was fired, why didn't they not let her get her things?
Right.
Why did they give her the time to get her things?
Or
give them to her.
The confrontation started with her. She tried to fight another employee. Right. So they were going to give her items, but they did not, and this is right. common. They did not want to let her back behind the counter.
I get that. They should have given it to her. Just give her items and put her out. I mean, again, I think it's
self-defense. Well, you saw she wouldn't stop.
I got it. I think it's self-defense. But them defending themselves. And I like the way the guy just took the chair out of her hand. It was like so smooth, right? But she's fired, put her out if she's violent, call the police, and then give her things. That's it. Whatever. Now she's attacking them. I say beat her ass.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, it looked like chaos.
Yeah.
So it seemed like it was obviously miscommunication. There was some kind of fight. So I think they just didn't know what to do with her. She was like rabid. Like she was jumping. Like it was funny to me when she like backed away in order to jump over that counter. Like she needed like some momentum. She needed to build, and then she just leaped over that counter. But she kept saying, "I need my stuff."
Yeah.
So they could have just like thrown it to her, like if they didn't want to get near her. Because once she got her stuff, she ran off.
Yeah, so that's what I don't know how many fights y'all have gotten into in your lives, but once someone ticks you off, you just want to go in and go at them. But all she wanted were her things. Don't fall in your face.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
all she wanted were her things. She left after she got her things.
But when you're at a place of business and you're asked to leave, a lot of times it's up to that employer. Sometimes they mail you your items.
Those are her
No,
personal
those are
items.
personal things.
Those
are
are
her personal things that she came there with.
Yeah, it doesn't
that
matter.
day. Yes, it does matter.
It's a coat.
Yes, it does
She needed
matter.
a coat in
Yes,
her
it does.
A lot of times when you're asked to leave a job, sometimes you're not even allowed to get your items. Sometimes they say,
personal items?
yes,
you
your personal
can
items.
get them. You can be escorted and maybe have an escort security take you to your locker or whatever. Yes, you can. They do not have a right to keep your personal items.
They do, and
no,
we
they
can live up
don't.
to that.
No, they
I
don't.
like to-
Nobody
I
has a
like
right to
to-
keep your personal
yes,
items,
they do.
KJ.
No, they
don't.
In many businesses, when you leave, sometimes
You
you are
allowed to
not
get your
allowed to
personal.
get any personal items.
Yes,
They will say, "I'll bring you your items," but
That's what they should have done.
Right.
Well,
But you have to leave the premises.
I've been escorted a couple times in my life. Trust me, they let you get your shit.
Right, exactly.
And said,
Right.
"Can I have my stuff?"
Right, exactly. She didn't do that.
I agree with
these
you.
people.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, we don't know what happened
Throwing
before.
a chair. So she assumed that they wouldn't give her the stuff.
Well, apparently they didn't. They didn't.
That's why she.
That's
had
why.
to
But I'm
take
not.
it
I'm
to
not
the next
excusing her
level.
behavior. I think it could have been handled much more civilly, and maybe she should have gone to get the security in the airport and say, "Look, they have my things. I'm terminated. Whatever." And maybe by then the manager probably would have brought them out to her. But he doesn't have a right to keep her personal items.
Well, I want to look up that. I've
don't care. You can look it
I've
up.
been in
You can look it
different managerial positions in different companies, and I'm not saying they had the right to keep her items
right.
forever, but the protocol generally is in some situations you must leave the premises, and then I will bring you your items.
I can understand that she could have left the premises.
She didn't leave.
Right, she didn't. I'm not excusing her behavior. I think it
She-
was over the top. That's putting it mildly. Maybe she should, no, not maybe. She should have left the premises. She should have gone at the very least to get the security and ask them to escort her back so that the manager will, get her things and hand them to her, and that would be it. So, but just to keep them and say, "I'll give them to you at my will," no.
And not only that, but as we watched the video, they were saying she didn't even allow them a chance to get her stuff.
Right.
She just kept trying to get it on her own.
Right.
And that's the issue. They did not want her coming behind
Now
the counter
exactly.
because she had just gotten into a confrontation with another. But this is ridiculous.
You know what it reminded me of? That leap. That guy who leaped over at the judge. The judge. I'm like, we just leaping over counters and
then where were the police? I mean, this is
that's
an
a good
airport.
question.
Too quick.
That's a good
This
question.
is an airport. And you could hear the manager. He was like, "Did you guys call the police? Where are the police?"
Police don't run that quick.
It's an airport.
Airport, yeah.
Trust me.
It just shows that people cannot communicate. Like, this is not communication. Where one person is jumping around and yelling, "I need my stuff," and other people are just pushing her back instead of communicating something.
You can't communicate with her.
Both of them should have been communicating.
I would slightly disagree and say that this is communication. It's body language. I mean, which is the biggest form of communication.
I'm
It's
sorry,
saying
that is
something.
not civilized
No, I didn't say it was
communication.
civilized. I said it's communication.
Okay,
it is saying a
but
message. It
it's
is giving a
not
message. I didn't say it was
She
civilized.
communicated and
She is
said she wants her
communicating.
stuff.
She's communicating inappropriately. But to your point about the security in that airport, Atlanta is one of the busiest, if not the busiest airport in the world, right? So it has been known that it's a beautiful airport. I think the police, the security, I think they're sick of this shit too. They don't want to put themselves in the situations now, so they're going to take their little old time coming, and I'm going to say it. You're going to be upset with me, some of you. I don't give a damn. I'm sick of black people acting like this. Because most of these things that I see, at least on social media, are black people showing their natural ass. And natural is good, but your natural ass in public is not.
Well, that brings us to the next topic, Fani Willis.
Oh, Lord.
Uh-oh.
So,
Showing her fanny.
well, you guys know Fani Willis. She is the Fulton County District Attorney for Atlanta. We're in Atlanta. We're going to stay in Atlanta, Georgia.
But the niggas are.
So she is the Fulton County District Attorney, and she had an improper and clandestine relationship with the married special prosecutor who assisted in securing the Georgia grand jury indictment against former President Donald Trump. And so it's been all over the news. She brought this trial against him. Well, bombshell court filing made by former Trump 2020 campaign official Michael Roman argues that Willis should be disqualified from the case and the charges against him dropped because the district attorney chose to appoint her former romantic partner, who at all times relevant to this prosecution has been a married man. So this has been all over the news talking about this and this information that has just come out. It's not just that she was dating this guy who was a married man. She also paid him an exorbitant amount of money for being the special prosecutor. And then with that money, they traveled all over vacation and everywhere. So there's some corruption going on here. Well, this has been going on for the past week when this dropped, and then she came out finally to respond to the allegations. This is clip number 2. Take a look here.
Was acceptable when a Republican in another county hired him and paid him twice the rate. Oh, y'all ain't hear me. In another county, the elected official has the authority to pay him twice the rate. Why is the white male Republican's judgment good enough, but the black female Democrats not?
What? All right. So back at it. We're back at the race card. This is the race game. She's been found to be corrupt, or there's corrupt allegations. And she, of course, is blaming race, is the reason why they're blaming her for these allegations. I want to start with you, Shelley.
Again, another black woman, and I'm going to couch it with this. I'll say competent or accomplished black woman. You know, she's made her credentials as a prosecutor, but now it's always the race. Oh, I'm a female. This is why they're doing this. Why can't you just say, okay, I was wrong? At the very least, it's the appearance of corruption, and she has not denied it yet, right? She's not denied anything, and I don't think she's going to, because if she does deny it, certainly in public, then she can be brought up on maybe perjury, whatever. But this is the standard that we are now bearing, we black women, the black women who are supposed to be leaders and again, competent, accomplished women, but they use this race card, and then she's in church.
Right.
She's in church, which doesn't surprise me, really. I think we might be talking about that later.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't surprise me, and I had a thought about that.
Yeah, I want to go to clip 3, and then I want to get your response, T. Take a look here. This is more of her talking about or responding to the allegations.
But I'm just asking God, is it that some will never see a black man as qualified, no matter his achievements? What more can one achieve? The other two have never been judges, but no one questions their credentials. I'm just saying.
So, did she sleep with all of them or just this one? Because everybody's questioning the one she slept with. What are you thinking, T?
There's so many layers here. The first one I'm going to start with is, this is what they asked for. They wanted woman equality. They wanted to be in the room with these men. This is what you asked for, black woman. You wanted to have the positions and all of that. And so now that you're being held accountable, just like the white man would have, just like the black man would have, now you want to go in church and lie, or not even lie, but not be accountable. Like, step up to the plate. Be a man. Be the man that you always wanted to be and step up to the plate. Instead of being at home, see, everything would have been fine if you would have been at home, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the children. But now y'all want to stir up some mess, and now you got to take up for sleeping with a married man. And not in the church want to take up for it.
Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on this,
So
Yana?
many things wrong with it. I mean, whenever I see the way she's talking, it's just like, it takes me back. Is this like the 1950s? Like, it takes me back to like the time of, you know, when things were really tough for Black people. Like, the way that she presents it, it's like we're stuck in time.
Yeah.
And people are like, yeah, and like they're all stuck in time. Like, that's what I see.
Yeah.
And it's childish behavior. Like, I'm sorry, I work with kids, and this seems like childish behavior. Not wanting to accept responsibility for things, not knowing how, like as if like they were never trained to accept responsibility. There's nothing wrong with saying I did the wrong thing.
Right.
Like, that's actually the right thing to do, and not what she's doing.
And she probably get more, I guess, sympathy or whatever.
Well, it looks like she's getting a ton of sympathy. She's doing this on church, and she's acting like she's talking to God. Why, God? Why? It's awful.
Yana says stuck in time, and this is the point similar to what I want to make about why this is in church. If you think about the civil rights movement, because that's what she's couching this under, this struggle, this racist or racial gender struggle, women's rights. If you think about the civil rights movement, where did many of the marches and the talks take place? In church.
Yeah.
In churches, to Black people, from Black people, and all these different leaders and all these different leaders and eras, people representing different eras. They went to churches. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Martin Luther King, and I'm putting Martin Luther King in the good column, right? But they went to churches. They did this because there was something that they saw. There's a whole lot of Black people there, but they are quote unquote ministering to them. All of this is couched under church. This is why, at least I'm going to say it, I say churches by and large have become corrupt. And maybe Black churches more so than typical white evangelical churches, but a lot of them have become corrupt. Their politics is the religion, not the religion itself.
Politics and race. I want to go on to this last clip. This is the clip 4 where she talks about how hard it is to be a Black woman.
What, to fuck a married man?
You cannot expect Black women to be perfect and save the world. The Lord is completing us. We are not perfect. We need your prayers. We need to be allowed to stumble. We need grace. With that kind of support, we will move mountains.
There she is again. This is sick. This is awful. And you have these people who know, because they're down in the town. They know that she was sleeping with this guy.
Right.
Well, they know that she's making excuses, and they're and she talking all this stuff. God is still working on me. How about talk about you made a mistake?
This is the manipulation, keyword manipulation, that they play with you in your face, knowing they're guilty, knowing they're doing wrong, but woe is me, I'm oppressed, I'm a Black woman, please have sympathy on me, when you're doing wrong.
Right.
And it's called manipulation. And quite frankly, it makes me angry.
Right.
Like, you're insulting my intelligence and Black people's intelligence.
Right.
Like, we can see right through it.
I want to make a legal point, and then I want to talk about some great Black women real quick. So the legal point is that not so much that she slept with the man per se, is that she slept with the man who she was paying to prosecute this case against Trump that she benefited from. If she was just sleeping with the man, nothing to do with the case, nobody would give a damn.
I don't care, but
No, I'm just
the
saying,
whole
right.
church background is what makes me think about that.
I got that. And I'm sorry, y'all. These Black queens that we like to be called, okay, whatever you want to do with that. Let me tell you about a few. I'm not even going into details. I'm going to name a few real Black African queens. And she's talking about we expected to save the world. Well, these queens actually did something for their countries, right? We have Queen Amanatu in Africa. We have, of course, Nefertiti. We have also Queen of Sheba, Makita, who I like to say, that's my line, right? So we have a few African queens that I looked up. Cleopatra. They actually did great things. Yeah. They were warriors. They did things for their country. And one of the things that was common amongst these queens, good, bad, or indifferent, different whether or not you have problems with them. Everybody does in some way, shape, or form. But the good that they did was ultimately for their country and their people. It wasn't about themselves.
Yeah.
So this is what makes a great queen or a great leader. It's about the people that you think are, or that you have following you, that you're leading, that you're supposed to be setting an example for. Being a leader has very little, if anything, to do with you.
And the queen does not blame someone else for her mistakes or her transgressions. She does not. She accepts responsibility and does better next time. That's a real. That's a mature person, and she's just getting sympathy. She's trying to, rally people behind her. And I have to say, I feel undercover Marxism happening in the churches.
Oh, yeah.
It's been there.
It's been
it ain't undercover no more
since Martin Luther King's time. And so, because instead of being a place of where you can profess your purity, being better, becoming a better person, it's just a place to rally, like doing political rallies.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sad, and not only sad about her using this the church for political reasons and for her own gain, but the church actually allowed it. They allowed this.
It's almost automatic. Right. It's almost automatic. So I do this, I'm going to go to the church to play my race card or my female. It's almost automatic. And I ask myself why. And the answer that I come up with, again, I think largely black churches, predominantly black churches, are corrupted. Mm-hmm. That's my answer. I may be wrong, but that's my answer.
Let's not forget the full picture here. Okay, because we got to break it down again. She was having a extramarital affair, is that right, what it's called, with a married man. This same man was the same man used to prosecute President Trump.
Exactly.
Right.
So let's bring it back to Trump, because this is the corruption. This is the corruption that they're trying to claim or accuse him of, and they're doing it in our faces.
Right. Not only that,
it can't be legal.
No, it's not. And the motion argues that Willis's failure to disclose her alleged relationship with Wade while paying him for his work on the Trump case with funds that he allegedly used to vacation with the DA could amount to honest services fraud, as well as a predicate an act which could result in a RICO charge against both the district attorney and the special prosecutor.
So
not only that, but new evidence has come out this week from the New York Post, and they are alleging that under fire, Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis, again, stands accused of also paying one of her special prosecutors $100 less per hour than her less qualified alleged boyfriend, Nathan Wade.
Right. Because she went in the church and she started saying that she was paying them equally.
Right.
Well, of course she's saying too much. Like they say, Trump talks too much. Now she's talking too much. So now she's giving them more fodder to go and look. Actually, these are alleged that the stats are not saying, no, you didn't pay them all equally. You paid your lover more to prosecute your quote unquote arch enemy, Trump, and then you're getting the kickbacks from what you're paying him. Oh my God.
And he messed her up. Because these attorneys, they're able to bill for certain hours. So he got greedy. I guess he said, well, you know what? She's going to hook me up anyway. I'm going to really milk this for as much as I can. So he just started billing for hours. They actually came out and said he billed for hours before he was even actually supposed to be on the case.
Because he was talking to Biden.
Right. He went to the Biden White House.
And supposedly it's possible that he's not even qualified because he's never prosecuted these cases.
No.
So who's paying for this?
The Georgia taxpayers are paying for it right now.
So they should be mad.
Yeah. The Georgia taxpayers are.
Yeah, right. But and speaking of this, before we move on, I want to look at this let you guys look at this last clip. This is clip 7 of Joy Reid, again pushing this racism.
New Hampshire. And I think to the point that you made, Steph, I mean, it's the elephant in the room. She's still a brown lady that's got to try to win in a party that is deeply anti-immigrant and which accepts the notion that you can say immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. She's getting, birthered by Donald Trump. And I don't care how much the donor class likes her, which will ramp up a lot, the better she does in New Hampshire. So it's still a challenge. I don't see how she becomes the nominee of that party with Donald Trump still around. I can't picture it happening. Maybe it could happen. Ron DeSantis' only argument for staying in it is he's the white guy, that he can still make the appeal to white evangelists.
While we have
This is crazy.
That weird.
So let me. I know she looks. So basically, what's going on there is that was Joyless Reed, talking about playing the race card, talking about Nikki Haley is a brown girl who has no chance of winning the election or the candidacy because she's a brown girl and Republicans are racist. That's what she's saying. That's what she's trying to say, which doesn't even make sense.
Right. Let's put this on the record.
Because she was
now.
actually a governor of South Carolina.
Exactly. Let's put this on the record now. Joy Reid does not give one damn about Nikki Haley. Brown, white, whatever, blue. She doesn't give a damn. She's trying to trope up the race games. I want her to start, first of all, with her damn wig. It's getting on my nerves. With that kitchen in the back, with all of the beans and the greens and the, what else is in there? Black eyed peas in the kitchen. I'm sick of it. I want to rip it off of her head. I do. I just want to rip it. She doesn't give one iota about whether Nikki wins or not, whether Donald Trump is birthing her. She's not. She's phony. She's fake. And again, that hair is triggering me.
Yeah.
It just, excuse me, it never makes sense. Like, it just sounds like a bunch of word salad. And for people, these people can't be intelligent. Like, how do they even get these jobs? Because they don't make sense. They're not smart at all. Because you're putting words together and nobody who's intelligent can actually understand what you're saying.
I mean, first of all, I had no idea Nikki Haley was a brown girl
Right.
until somebody mentioned it. I had no idea.
Right.
Like, I didn't.
How is she brown?
She's like Indian.
Because she's not white.
But
That's basically it.
I learned that later. In fact, these people are making such a big deal about it.
Right.
Like, they're gonna. She's the one who is, I don't know, birthing, because she's digging into this woman's past for no, or like her background for no reason.
Right. And they're making this up. She was so far off. Republicans do not care what color Nikki Haley is. They don't like her because she's a shill for the establishment.
Trump surely didn't care.
She's a warmonger.
He hired her for the UN. He didn't care.
Yes.
He does not. He's not birthing her. I mean, look, she's talking about birthing. Okay, maybe Obama was born in the U.S. soil or not. I don't know. But nobody cares about that. Nikki Haley is here legally or whatever. She's a citizen here. She was born here. Her parents immigrated here. But Joy, what I want you to do is take your nappy head back into that dressing room and get your hair done.
Yeah. It looks a mess. And you talk about cultural appropriation. Here you have this Snickers-colored woman who has a platinum blonde wig on. She looks a mess
with a bowl cut.
And it actually looks like Donald Trump's hair. She had Donald Trump's hair on top of her head, and she's sitting here talking about brown girl this, brown girl that. Why don't you go color your hair back to natural color?
She's not even brown. Well,
thank you.
Let me hush, because as dark as she is, she
blue.
Right.
So again, they continue to push this race, and it's not even anything on our radar. It's not. And you want to talk about race? Why don't you talk about your side? If that is the litmus test upon whether an electorate or whether a party is racist or not. Look what you guys did in your primary last year. 2016 was it? Kamala Harris didn't make it far. Cory Booker didn't make it far.
Hillary Clinton didn't make it far.
Right. But these are brown people. Right. These are brown people. Right. Again, these people did not make it far. Right. The Vice President, Kamala Harris, She was so bad, your electorate didn't want her. They propped her up as VP just because she was black, not because of her achievements, not because the people wanted her.
The Republicans can't do that though. We can't.
Right.
They're saying that because she's brown, that Republicans don't want her.
No.
We're brown,
Right. The thing is that again, always remember that whatever the left accuses the right of is exactly what they are doing or they are about to do.
Right.
It's it's more like that's all they have.
Yeah.
That's all they can talk about is race because they don't have anything.
Why are we getting tired of this?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like the whole world, and I feel like Republican Party wants to move on from this race. Separating people by race and gender. Even we're talking about, we have a big tent actually. As long as we agree on most things, we can get along. And no, these people, they want to pull us back into some like weird dystopian racist
That's exactly
society.
what they want. That's exactly what they want.
Because of, like you said, Yana, Marxism. I mean, Marxism, goes back to trying to pit people against each other. They're using race this time.
They're gonna lose if we unite. If we actually forget about these labels. If she's bringing up race of Nikki Haley, she wants Republicans to care about it. Because I didn't even know. I didn't care. Republicans don't really care as long as the person is saying the right things. They care about the country. Right. And they want us. The Democrats want us to care about race.
Yeah, they do. We're going to continue to follow this story with Fani Willis and see what happens. I do hope that justice is served and they dig into this and really get to the bottom of it.
If they keep digging, which I hope they do, the judges, whatever the legal process, this could upturn the whole Georgia case against Trump.
Yeah, I hope it does.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
We're right front and center of things like this. We had a George Soros prosecutor here in Baltimore
who's being prosecuted.
Marilyn Mosby.
Oh my God.
Right, and she's actually being prosecuted now for similar corruption. So
that was her excuse was color.
Right, yeah.
They coming after me because I'm a black woman.
She did the same thing.
Every time.
Yeah. It's almost like you can just move the pieces and you put them in the place because they're saying the same thing. It was because I'm a black woman. I'm a black woman.
She looked good though. That's
all right.
what people say. She looked good though.
We will move on. And speaking of this type of stuff, we're talking about illegal immigration. So
many.
This is front and center right now. It should be on everyone's mind, not just the border towns, not just Texas, not just Arizona. Illegal immigration should be at the front of minds of every American because it affects us all. And we're going to tell you how it does. This is one issue, how it affects us all. Take a look at this. This is clip number 5, what they're doing in Massachusetts.
Most importantly, if you have an extra room or suite in your home, please consider hosting a family. Safe housing and shelter is our most pressing need. Become a sponsor family. You can contact the Brazilian Worker Center for more information on how you can step up if you're willing to have an additional family be part of your family. If you're a local official, a college president, a business owner, or a faith leader with an available building or space in your community, please work with us to offer it as a shelter site. If you're a social service provider, please consider becoming an emergency assistance homeless shelter provider. Our resources are stretched thin there as well. And if you're a hotel or a motel owner, consider opening it up for emergency assistance. If you're a landlord or a property owner, we can use you too and connect you with service providers to help transition families into permanent housing. Everyone has something they can offer.
I mean, this is some buck wild mess. This is crazy.
I got something I don't understand why Massachusetts, how do you say the words, whatever, are taking this. I got something to offer. How about 2 double-barrel bullets in my shotgun protecting my land and get your ass. This should be treason at the very. I don't even know if that's the right word, but this should be infuriating the citizens, the residents of Massachusetts. You got elected and appointed government bureaucrats taking your taxpayer money, telling you to offer your rooms and extra room. Everybody has something to do. Well, Obama said a few years ago that the government is whatever we all can believe in. Bull freaking crap, okay? They need to be hemmed up and taken out and lined up on a firing squad. Yes, I'm saying that because this is ridiculous, KJ. You look at me like that. This is ridiculous. They're coming to you, telling you basically to give up your land, give up your home that you as taxpayers have saved and slaved for, your mortgages. You have to pay these jokers, this government, all these taxes for land, and they're going to come and tell you to give up room for illegal aliens. Bullshit! Bring your ass to my house. I got a double barrel. I got a couple. What does my shirt say? When guns are outlaws, I'm going to be a freaking outlaw. How dare you come and you go into the citizen's face and say some crap like that? This is infuriating. I don't know why the Massachusetts people and every damn body across America in a small town or wherever you are, why you're not riled up. Because I am. And I don't even live in Massachusetts. But guess what? It's coming here to Maryland too.
Oh yeah. It's good. It's coming all across the country. It is coming across the country. T, what are your thoughts here?
My thoughts are, why they got the black lady to tell us that? They had the black lady,
the black and brown lady.
Black people, because he's trying to appeal to the black people. Black people, we know we're not taking care of you either, but please open your homes up. What more do they want? They're, like you said, they're taking our taxes, they're taking all of the shelters, they're taking everything to get to these illegal people, and now you want us to open our homes?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They say it with such ease and
like it's normal.
Yes.
Right.
Like it's normal. This is insane. Like I feel like I live in the alternate reality when I'm in America. Like I go to other countries. I traveled to Europe, to Eastern Europe. The border there is so strict. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, the checkpoints take forever to cross, and legally, it takes forever to cross. If somebody crosses, like there was a situation, that there are some people coming from the Middle East going into Belarus legally, but then from Belarus, they want to go into Poland. And what happened, this is recent, there are two people that got beat up by the Polish guards and thrown back into Belarus.
Get your butt back.
The Belarusian authorities had to pick them up and take them to the hospital because they were so badly beat.
Let's go.
So, but that is normal when somebody's breaking the law.
Right.
And so here we have people breaking the law and we have invasion of illegal aliens coming in. I mean, there isn't a war. Is there a war over there below?
No. There isn't.
They're just coming.
Or what they say, climate control.
That's what terrorists are coming in. When Trump said a few years ago that some of the people he assumed are good people, but they're letting in the terrorists, the rapists, the murderers. We got illegal aliens. We have enough with our own Americans murdering and slaughtering each other, let alone illegal aliens. And now we're supposed to give them our damn space in our home? That's like somebody telling you, somebody murdered your family member and you're going to invite the murderer in to come and sleep and slumber with you.
It just doesn't make sense. I mean, we have a border for a reason. We do not have the infrastructure, social institutions and things like this to even accommodate these people. And we're seeing it. I mean, so much so they're asking people to house these illegal immigrants when all you have to say is support the border, close the border. It makes no sense.
They're asking people to house illegal immigrants, but a business who hires one can be fined and maybe lose his business. This is just, it's, like you said, Alyana, it's an alternate universe. It really is. You're asking illegal, and people who I know, some of them want to slaughter Americans. Remember the ones that came here on 9/11, right? You remember we got people coming here, drunk drivers, killing people, Mexican gang people, and we are the only country doing this and allowing this. Like you mentioned, the countries in Europe, other countries, they don't do that. Yeah. They are not.
Again,
you got me started.
Another thought that came to my mind. So I know people who work for these organizations where they process legal immigrants.
They do that here.
These people, the legal immigrants, they go through months or even years. They have to provide all types of documents. They have to go through all types of health checks. They have to provide all sorts of samples to make sure that they do not have any kind of diseases. And these people, they pay so much money for all these things. And
they still have to look for their own housing.
Right.
They're not giving anything.
They don't receive anything when they get here. And then at the same exact time, you have people walking in, you have no idea who they are, you do not know what they're carrying, and that doesn't make any sense.
Again,
not only go ahead.
Here we are in every aspect of life. These people are playing in our faces.
Yeah.
And
Right
saying
in
they
our
don't
faces.
care.
Right
I
in
don't
our
care what you
faces.
think. We're going to do it anyway.
And
Right in
not
our
only
faces.
that, but I mean, we have an election coming up. It's not even like the Democrats are hiding it.
Right.
They are
Yes.
openly calling for open borders. They are openly telling, and at least they're asking right now, there will come a time when we will be mandated to open up our houses
and load
for these illegal immigrants.
Lock
I'm
and
telling
load.
you, mark my words.
Lock and
It's
load.
coming.
I believe you.
It's coming. And speaking of you, Yana, you mentioned about the health care. Already in California, they are starting January 1st. It started January 1st. All undocumented immigrants, regardless of age, will qualify for free health insurance. In California, it's called Medi-Cal. That's California's version of the federal Medicaid program for people with low incomes. So this will be
people, meaning Americans as well.
Right, but now illegal.
Flooded with illegal aliens.
Those homeless people there that are American citizens should get it first.
Right. Well, illegal, legal, whoever if you meet the requirements of income and things like that, you will get it. But this is specifically for illegal immigrants. It's really unknown exactly how many people will enroll, but state officials estimate more than 700,000 people between the ages of 26 and 49 will gain full free health coverage.
That's ridiculous. So a lot of illegal aliens, or actually all illegal aliens, work under the table. They get paid under the table. So even if they are making money, their income basically doesn't exist.
Right.
So a person who is American and is receiving a paycheck and has to declare their taxes, they may not qualify for this health care.
You're right.
Even if they are barely, they're struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, they're not going to qualify. When an illegal who doesn't
On paper,
contribute to the system,
who does not let the government know how much he or she doesn't disclose, they will automatically get
What's
it.
interesting about that number you said about 700,000, and I think it was 2022 or 2023, about 800,000 or more people left California. So these 700,000 people are basically replacements, right? But they're replacement, but they're not adding to the economy.
No,
they are sucking the tits of Californians and these wealthy Hollywood, satanic, Illuminati people. They can afford the margin. They have margins in their incomes to kind of pick up the burden, if you will. But the average people in California, the regular people, the business owners, the middle class people trying to put their kids through school, they're the ones who can't take this. They're leaving California, so now these immigrants are still coming in and still going to drain the system.
What's the point? Because they bring these people in, they still can't vote for them.
They're making that in New York City. Already in New York City, they passed law. In New York City,
they're
they
not
passed
citizens.
law
They're not
already.
the services they get, but they get them. That's what they do. These are
but in New York City now, they've already passed a law where even if you are illegal, as long as you have residence within the city, you can vote.
That's it.
And they're going to do it. They're going to push this across the board. And speaking of the cost, the effort will eventually cost the state of California $3.1 billion per year for this.
And that's on the low side.
Yeah, of course
That's
it
on the
is.
low side.
Of course, everything's on the low side because really, they don't have a close estimate of these people because they're undocumented.
Where they
No
gonna get
telling
this
how
money
many they have going in and coming and taking.
They get the money
advantage of
from the
this.
taxpayers,
I
the
know.
people who are working, and that they keep draining, and they try to make you feel bad because you absolutely say no. Hell freaking no. Come to Massachusetts, I'm telling you, lock and load. Protect your house. What is that Under Armour's motto?
Right, yeah.
Protect this house. Get some Under Armour and get some real damn armor in the form of two double barrels and other forms.
Yeah, and we just had in the news, I can't remember which state this occurred in, but there was an undocumented illegal immigrant who was here. They were deported, I think, like this was a guy, deported like 3 times. He re-entered again, was driving drunk, and killed a dad and his son.
Yeah, not the first time.
In a
Not
car.
the first time.
He was deported 3 times,
Not the
and
first
he
time.
came back, and then this time he's killed. He's killed
Too many
somebody.
people are easily crossing the border. When I talk to people in Mexico, like every second one I would talk to, they would say, "Oh yeah, I was in the States illegally." They're talking about it openly. They were in the States illegally. They make their money. They come back.
Yeah.
And it's like it goes. It's constant. So it's too easy, and it's honestly scary. Like I am scared.
Yeah, and you know this, we know this. So what's going on with the government? Why haven't they done anything?
Oh, they are doing anything. This is what they're doing. Again, I'm going to say some of these it's the Soros prosecutor mentality that the little guy, the immigrant, the criminals, they're the ones who get the focus. Like the squeaky wheel gets the oil, then they're getting all this oil, but we are paying the goddamn bill.
Yeah. So we'll continue to follow this story. Here we are. This is what we were talking about. Illegal immigrant kills 3 in Wisconsin. It was in Wisconsin, car crash. It's so sad. It's so sad. And this is just what we know of. But this is happening all over the country. We had something like this a couple years ago here in Maryland, in an area called Aberdeen, where an illegal immigrant was part of some gang, killed and raped first, then killed a teenage girl here. I mean, it is sad, and it does not have to happen. This president, they keep talking about Hunter Biden. We've said this multiple times on the show, talking about Biden, Joe Biden giving away our secrets to China. He should be impeached alone on his failure to protect our border. That is his job, to secure and protect the border, and he's failing to do it. He should be impeached alone on that.
How is this slipping through the cracks, though?
What do you mean?
How has he not been impeached for not protecting the borders? How has he not been held accountable? We're always talking about holding our elected officials accountable. We need to hold this crazy nut.
Well, first of all, they play by our politics. Schumer is the Speaker of the House, the Senate leader.
Doing nothing.
Right, who's not doing anything. So they're not going to impeach their own. But again, like KJ mentioned, it's an election year, and all of you out there who talking about, well, you know, Trump is too acerbic and he's too this or whatever. Okay, this is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. I want a fighter. Do I agree with everything Trump has said or done? No, I don't. But I want somebody who's going to
fight like hell,
because we have a country to save.
I mean,
exactly.
Honestly, these are like enemies of the United States.
Yeah.
Only an enemy.
The enemy within.
Only an enemy would do something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I'm thinking, like, if there's another country, you know, we can name a few countries that do not like the United States. They would implement something like this. They would try to create a situation of some sort of invasion. Mm-hmm. So it seems like they're working together with, I mean, it could, I don't know, it's some kind of conspiracy, because honestly, to me, it seems only an enemy of the United States would allow that kind of influx, of constant influx. And there's absolutely, like, when we're talking about it, it's as if, you know, as if like we're saying nonsense, like you know what I mean. What I'm saying is,
it's
like nobody's listening to us. Like, what is going on?
Right. Well, we hope you guys are listening. We hope you are sharing this broadcast. Please continue to comment. We see your comments. Share this broadcast. We hope we're building a community of people who agree with this, and we have to get Biden out. Get him out of the White House. I hope this is the end. I hope that he and Kamala will be removed No, in November. I really pray they do, because if not, I don't know what this country is going to look like in a year. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to.
I want to remove too. I want to remove too, and I don't care if he has to go be removed feet first myself, feet first or on two legs. I don't care. I want him out. I do. I hope it's done legally or naturally.
Okay.
No, well,
wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
All right. Well, moving it right along. I mean, we're talking about these important topics that are really affecting all of us. And another thing is sexualization of children. We see this gender ideology being pushed all across the country, and we have it being pushed firsthand right here in Maryland. So when you think about this type of stuff, this sexualization of children, just gender ideology being pushed, you think it's only the public schools. And we talked about this multiple times on the show. Get your kids out of public school. Well, it's happening in private school too. Here in Maryland, a very prestigious private school, St. Paul's School for Boys, is holding you can see it here. They're holding an event, Belonging in Gender and Sexual Identity. They've pushed this event among other private schools, one in the area, McDonough Middle School, here in Maryland, very prestigious school. They have a high school as well. I mean, this school is ranked countrywide, nationally, for being amongst the elite in private schools. And this is what they're doing here. It says, please let me know if you're interested. They have on here multiple, and you can see these slides. It says here the LSA Inclusive Teaching Initiative. And you see this wheel. It's the wheel of privilege. This is the second slide. Do we have that available?
Right here.
It's called the Wheel of Privilege, and it has 5 identities on here. This is what they're teaching middle school and high school kids. Identities you think about most often, identities you think about least often. And it has on here gender, sex, sexual orientation. I mean, is this what our children need to learn? I want to get your thoughts on this, Shelley.
Well, I was looking into this LSA, and like you said, this curriculum is nothing but a cesspool. That's what I call it. As a cesspool.
A porta potty.
Yeah, a porta potty. And you mentioned some words, KJ, that I took some notes earlier about these schools. Why this is coming to private schools. We say get your kids out of public school. Get your kids out of many schools, okay? Public, private, maybe some even parochial schools, depending on what they are teaching. But you can use a few words. You said elite and prestigious. And I thought about this earlier because I wrote down these quote unquote name brand schools, and I kind of likened them to the Harvards, the Yales, who are also gone woke. So are these private schools. It's not about these, again, we get caught up in, my child goes to this school because of the name or the brand or how much it costs, whatever. They might be proxies for income. Okay, fine. But what are they teaching? They are teaching your kids values that you don't teach. They're teaching your kids to go against his or her own family and community. So this is the kind of stuff that we get so caught up in the names on these kids. Yeah, they're feeder schools for the Harvards and the Yales and the Princetons. But again, what are they teaching your children? They're teaching your children how to be woke. Not only that, teaching that girls can be boys and boys can be girls. Again, dicks cannot be chicks.
Yeah, and not only that, but you're paying for it, paying upwards of $20,000 a year and so on. I mean, for them to tell, and again, these schools mostly most people that go here are white kids, and they're teaching your child that they are in a privileged group. That's social identity groups that hold unearned privilege in society. And then they may be teaching your black child that they're in a marginalized group. This is all on these, this is what is part of this curriculum. Social identity groups that are disenfranchised and exploited. I mean, what's going on here, T?
It started with the trophy kids. You remember the trophy kids? They give everybody a trophy just because for participation trophy. Now we're leading to something like this is a whole nother level right here, but it's going along with the times. I'm not surprised by anything. Private schools, woke, it's so funny how people are saying they're woke, but they're not awake. They're not seeing what is going on right in their faces. And this is now, we've been saying they want our children.
Yep.
And now they're going to dig a little deeper until they get them. All of them.
And I want to get your thoughts on this, Yana, because part of this on here, they're teaching these children to identify as something. This is supposed to be very important. What identifies you do you think most often of? What identities do you think most least of? What identities have strongest effect on how you perceive yourself? I mean, what does this have to do with school? What?
It's insane. I mean, these people, they're perverts. If they want to ask kids these questions, they shouldn't be asking them. Like, how would you even come to an idea to talk with an underage person about these things? Like, it's creepy. Honestly, it's creepy. An adult person talking to children about these things. And then it's Marxists are everywhere.
Right. This is their religion.
They're everywhere. And they're infiltrating everything right now. The whole world, honestly. So, you know, if you heard about the Pope, that he approved
same-sex marriages and
it was they could bless a same-sex couple. It wasn't like that they're trying to say, oh no, it's not marriage. It's just if the same-sex couple comes to church, they can receive the blessing. But it's in the wording. Like it's one more step. And it's going to be marriage. Basically allowing and saying that it's okay. And this whole idea, you know, God is just love. You know, I hear it from religious, people who consider themselves religious, they would say stuff like that. Even Catholics, I hear it from them. No, I'm sorry, there are rules and laws, and the Bible still states very specific rules and laws about these types of behaviors. And it's not to hate people, it's to say that these behaviors are not beneficial to society.
No, I mean, and speaking of, I mean, and this is what they're pushing. They have these sessions that they're doing. Again, this is St. Paul's School for Boys is holding this for middle school up to high school. One session, they're going to show a movie and tells the story of a family that experiences immigrant struggles, generational trauma, LGBTQ plus acceptance in their family, and complex family dynamics, all the while trying to save the fate of the world by navigating through multiverses.
Don't we have enough faggots as it is? Can't we just...
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I meant to say it, but I didn't mean to say it, but I meant to say it. But I mean, this is a boys' school, and they're teaching them how to be other things.
This is their agenda. This is what they want in their world.
We have enough already.
When like this is their religion, right? And let's just say in general, if you have a religion or whatever your value system is, you want to transmit that to your children. Well, this is their value system. This is their religion. They're not transmitting to their children per se. They're transmitting to all of you who are paying.
But we're not allowed to do that. You know, if we go to school and you can't even pray at some schools, you know, they don't want us to transmit our religion.
I know.
But they are trying to do that with our children. It's ridiculous.
And you got many parents who are paying for this. Right. And it's not just going to be at the St. Paul's School for Boys in McDonough. They have other private schools here that it's going to infiltrate in that network. It's going to infiltrate that network.
It's coming to those Catholic schools.
Here's another. It says here, another session will cover the unfairness and inequalities in the justice system. Like, why are you teaching my son this? This is what I don't push that at home.
These kids, they don't know the basic facts about the history of the United States.
No.
But they know. Right. They will say things like, oh, our justice system is unfair. Even though they don't even know what the heck they're talking about.
What they don't even know the three branches of government.
Yeah, exactly. They may not even know who was the first president of the United States.
They may know the president now.
Yeah, right. But I hear from these kids, oh, our justice system is not fair. Oh, women, they're not, getting the same treatment or the same pay. They're getting fed this constant.
Yeah, listen to this. It says here, we will go into greater depth of how this unfairness creates inaccurate statistics in minority groups and the effect the abuse of systemic power and authority can have on a community. Our movie will mirror these themes by sharing the story of an African American man falsely convicted of a crime in his fight against the legal system.
What movie is this?
Meanwhile,
I want to watch this movie. I want to see.
Yeah, they don't say the name.
Yeah,
this is the different.
I was wondering if you knew.
This is the different sessions that they're going to break out in. They're going to show these different. I don't know if it's a movie. It's probably something that they created within this cult that they have. Yeah. I mean, it's. Would any of you be okay with your child?
Meanwhile, China is teaching their boys how to empty clips and how to shoot.
Meanwhile, I follow Russian news, like Russian social media and stuff like that. They're doing patriotism stuff every single day. Like, they're teaching kids to be patriotic, to care about their, legacy, to create greater future for themselves. Family values are being promoted constantly in that world. But it's the same thing over there. They're going for very young. They're teaching patriotism, and actually Christianity too. They have priests going into kindergartens and elementary schools teaching Christianity now, which was unthinkable during the Soviet Union. Right. And here it's the opposite. Yes. If you want to train your kids to be a certain way, to become an army, you go young.
The children. So 40 years from now, I hate to see if any type of
40 years from now, this might breaks out. We might be the old Soviet Union, and we might need to go east to go to Russia. Because they might be more like America.
I'm going to make sure my children go to Russia. My next 3 generations are going to be in Russia.
Right. And just the person that's doing this is a guy named Ian Golash. He's a self-identified communist and a history teacher.
They don't hide
at some school. Fuck. Look at his face.
And he reportedly told students
a couple of times.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. And he reportedly told students that identifying as straight is offensive.
Yeah, he's gay.
He's so gay.
Yeah, he's gay.
This is what they're telling. This is what they're telling. So you can't. Where's the thought? Where's the thing about know your truth, learn your truth? If I'm heterosexual, that's offensive.
And these people used to say, like, what does our lifestyle have to do with you? Like, how are we bothering you?
Now we see how.
It's like, now they're saying that we are offensive.
Right.
Just what
happened to tolerance?
Yeah. Right. He also handed out the social index wheel that we talked about earlier on, a worksheet which asks students to identify their race, gender, disabilities, economic status, and sexual orientation.
Yeah,
children.
Think about it.
Yeah, it's part of the curriculum.
Why are we talking? Okay, I understand sex ed, but that's biology. But sexual orientation, that is nothing that you should be teaching children. Like, that's common sense.
Honestly, it's perverted.
Yeah, it is. And it's just another step towards
pedophilia.
And sexualizing children.
It's not education, it's indoctrination.
Right, it's not education, it's indoctrination. And I'm waiting for bestiality. I mean, they've started talking about that a little bit.
Maybe next month.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to start talking about your love is love. The whole term love is love can mean anything. Sister, brother, adult child, woman, horse.
Animal, yeah.
Hey, I mean, this stuff sounds far-fetched, but just within the last 5 years, if somebody said men can menstruate, that was seen as crazy and obscene. Now, this is the going thing with AOC and these Democrats. This is who you guys vote for.
This is who you're voting for.
Yeah,
I can't imagine the people who fought for civil rights if they really thought that this is where it would end.
Oh, it ends here. Take a look at this. This is clip number 6. It ends here. This is where it ends. This is who represents many of us. These are the people. Take a look here. This is clip number 6.
Lord, I'm scared to see it.
Do we have that?
Oh.
Okay, we're going.
Okay, we may not have it. This was this is what I wanted to show this clip. This is the Emmys. So the Emmys came on Monday, I think Monday night or Tuesday night, and they did a whole thing. RuPaul, the guy who plays RuPaul, got up and talked about drag queens should be able to read to the children. He says, let a drag queen read to your child. And then, of course, these Hollywood people, you know, they are supposed to be the people we're supposed to listen to. Never mind, they have scandal after scandal coming out with these weirdos. But these are the people that, if they say, let a drag queen read to your child, that's the gospel.
Right.
Did you guys see
I saw
it?
that clip. Yeah, I saw that clip. Yeah, it was perverted. It was perverted. I'm just going to use that word. It was perverted. It had nothing to do with the Emmys and the Golden Globes or the awards of yesteryear, where they were based on talent and skill and, you know, and the audience loving whatever the movie or the production was. Nothing to do with that at all. It's all about, look at me, I'm a drag queen and I want to hump your child.
Yeah. And so we see this, they're pushing this in schools, and it's not just middle, it's from preschool on up. So what's the end result? It's this coming up next. This is the DEI. So not sure if you guys have been following this. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, is actively recruiting workers who suffer, and I quote, severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under diversity and inclusion. So they're looking at that wheel that we had a couple minutes that they're pushing in these middle schools. They're looking at the wheel, and every deviant perversion on the wheel is going to be your pilot. Hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website. Sure, this is courtesy of Pete Buttigieg, because he's he's secretary of the Department of Transportation. So targeted disabilities are those disabilities that the federal government, as a matter of policy, has identified for special emphasis in recruitment and hiring. DEI.
DEI in the friendly skies.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to be. I'm going to repeat the famous 13 words that I've been saying for a little more than a year now. We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. That was in, I think, 2013 when Obama said that. Well, guess what? We are now living that fundamental transformation. And to knock it off, we're going to have a whole lot of dead people on planes.
Oh, it seems like they're trying to kill us any way they can. Yeah. Whether it's the illegals coming across the border, whether it's on the planes, whether it's in the cities with all this unchecked crime, they are trying to kill us.
Depopulation.
I mean, we already have like pieces of an airplane coming off.
Yeah.
Like, what happened with that? Did they even explode?
Well, this summer, United was one airline, but this summer and some other airlines, they had so many near misses, right? But you got, what's his name? What'd you call him? Booty juice. You know, he's out on skateboards and doing whatever instead of helping to fix the transportation system. So many near misses in American airports. Flights had to be turned around because over the ocean, they dropping parts. Right? Or refuel wasn't fueled correctly, or whatever the case may be. But United is one of the airlines that is hell-bent on hiring these severely in whatever.
Everybody on the wheel. The wheel.
If you, again, we call for taking your children out of the schools. If you do not have to fly United or any other airline that is pushing this stuff, please don't. Please take another route or another flight if you can. I know that many airlines have a major airline in certain regions and sectors, and that may be all you can. Okay, fine. But write some letters to these airlines. Write the boards or whatever. This is unacceptable. Who the hell wants a pilot based on how she looks, brown or whatever, or whether or not she has a psychiatric disorder or she's handicapped and maybe she can't control the wheel,
whether she cross dresses. And let me ask you this.
What does that have to do with the skill?
Let me ask you this though. You know, to play what do you call it? Devil's advocate. What some people are saying that DEI does not hire people who don't meet the requirements. Saying they want to include DEI just means that yes, these people are still qualified, but they also will push and try to recruit people that identify as these certain identities, but they also qualify to be,
But what is about severe psychiatric
and severely handicapped
disorders? Like,
so look,
sorry.
So now it's actually about 2 to 5 years ago they've added B, so it's DEI and B, which means
B?
belonging.
Belonging.
So whatever you want, that's the point.
Okay.
So they're adding this DEI and B, belonging. So now it's, if you feel like you belong to any category, any label, then you should be included. However, so I saw this coming about 3 years ago when there was a push all of a sudden for people who were mentally ill, or had mental issues. Everybody wanted to be oppressed. Suppressed. Yeah. Everybody wanted to be depressed. Everybody wanted to have some type of anxiety. You remember? Like they were actually saying, especially on social media, "Oh, I'm so I have depressed and anxiety." They were self-diagnosing. Right. First of all, nobody really was, but everybody wants to feel something and be something.
And, I mean, a person who has a mental condition, it doesn't mean that they cannot work anywhere. There are jobs that they.
I don't want them flying my planes.
No, exactly.
I don't even want the handicap.
Why are they putting them on planes? Like a place where. A lot of people, I have anxiety of flying. So many people have anxiety of flying. So then you're going to put a mentally disturbed person on the plane as well on top of that. I'm not saying that these people should not have a job. Like, I don't know, you can...
They can go work at Chick-fil-A.
I mean, I'm sorry. No, they can do other things. I mean, they can be a...
janitor.
A secretary. They can be...
dentist.
No, the point is that whoever is flying the plane, you want that person competent and qualified. I don't care how he looks. I don't care. I mean, I'm just a usual example. If the person was a cross-dresser, if that person is capable of flying that daggone Boeing, I don't care if that's the competent person, right? That doesn't matter to me. It's just like it wouldn't matter to me if my surgeon was nice or not. I want to know, does the surgeon have the skill to cut what needs to be cut out? I don't care about those things. But these DEI policies, they're setting up like we talked about for affirmative action, where they put in black people in schools where they really were not qualified for, right? And what did that do? Not that they weren't smart, they just were not at that level of whatever that school required. Right. Same thing, we're setting these people up to fail and take a whole plane load of people with them.
Right. They use black people as a scapegoat with this, to pierce this diversity bubble or whatever. They want to pierce it. Oh, black people, don't you feel like you should be included? Oh, gay people, they come and take over.
Exclude me.
And now we got crazy people.
Yeah. And mental health is not something to joke with. I mean, this was like back in, I think, the 80s. There was a pilot who literally committed suicide with the entire plane.
Mm-hmm. That was the one, the plane a few years ago they still haven't found yet, the Malaysian Airlines as well. So, I mean, again, and some of these pilots are terrorists, right? This is again, like you said, they want to kill us anyway. They coming or going.
We talked about, even with the shots, on the border, now on the planes. I mean, I am so tired of depressed, suppressed, oppressed. I just want to take an iron and take the iron and hit them out and take all their wrinkles out. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I'm black.
I don't think this is what Martin Luther King.
No, it was not.
I don't think
this is a nightmare.
This wasn't the dream that he wanted.
This is the nightmare. This is a nightmare. I'm serious, but I mean, we talk about sometimes what can we do? At the very least, we can write. I'm serious. Write letters, email, whatever. Go on there on the social media pages and voice your not just your concern, but voice your absolute complaints. And this is unacceptable. And if you want to throw in the race card, they use it. Use it too. I'm a black woman, and I think this is a bunch of bullshit.
It's out of our hands now. They're gonna do what they want to do at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. The
Writing letters was in the 80s.
That train is gone.
That train is,
it's gone. It's out and it's done. We need a total recalibration.
Money talks, like with the
the gay people got all the money.
Stop using the airlines if it's possible. Again, I know there's some markets where there's only certain
possible.
but yeah.
Which airlines?
I know United is one of them that's really pushing this. United is one of them.
Isn't the FAA? That's the federal.
That's the aviation.
That's the
Yeah.
entire.
Yeah, so it's going to go to all the airlines.
He's in charge of the whole thing.
It's going to go to airlines.
I mean, we have to get these people out of office.
Yeah.
We have to get them out.
We need normal.
I mean, we're not even overreacting. This is crazy.
That's a good point. You said get them out of office, and I know we focus on the national elections a lot, but there are also a lot of downstream offices and appointments that we need to really focus on, because who's at charge is going to appoint and put people in different places in different areas. Those are the things we need to focus on as well. Yeah. Some of the local and the state level things, and these bureaucratic agencies, ABC, a department this and department that. We need to go in there with a daggone hose, and I'm saying a double barrel.
Yeah. Well, we are at the end of the show tonight. We're at the end of our time. We've talked about a lot of topics tonight, and so definitely we thank you guys for watching. We thank for our super chatters. We have a super chatter, Jeff Arrington. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We do this to kind of just keep people informed and get the word out. Our mantra this year going into 2024 is be aware and prepare. Yes. And so at this point, I don't even know if it's about changing minds, but it's really about letting people know what's going on. And we just need to prepare as patriots, because it's coming. It's coming. They've gotten this stuff really baked into our system now. And if we don't change course for this next election, I don't think we will be able to change course.
I don't think we have that margin anymore.
Yeah, I think we can. If this election, if we
win, yeah.
Right. But after this,
we don't have.
If we don't get Biden out, it's done. So because they will see this as a mandate for themselves.
Yep.
Yes, and it's over.
We just need to figure out, listeners. We need to figure out what state we can all come to and create our. Will it be Texas? Create our own.
Not Texas. Texas is kind of going away
because those people from California going there and they voting for the same thing they just left.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what they did.
Figure out what state we all go to in a warm climate and figure it out all by ourselves.
I mean, I'm gonna go. I just want to say, I had a neighbor. Again, we live in Maryland, Baltimore City, so it's a very liberal state. Baltimore is a very liberal city, leftist, right? And I had a neighbor. Now, the neighbor is pretty wealthy. She moved to Florida. Mm-hmm. She came back up here, and she's trying to change everything down. She talked about DeSantis. She talked about Florida so badly. She hates Republicans. But she moved to Florida, and now she's trying to change it down there. She's advocating for all these abortion rights and stuff.
That's what they do.
And I'm thinking, why did you move there?
That's what they do.
Why?
That's what they do. That's their purpose. That's their religion.
They're missionaries.
They are exactly. Exactly. They spread
the gospel.
They're spreading the word.
They're infesting everything. I mean, if I don't agree with these politics and I'm thinking this isn't the way to go, and I've got money. I mean, she has money that she can move really. Why do you go to California? It's ridiculous, and this is what they're doing, and they're trying to do it to Texas.
Yeah,
they're trying to do it to Texas.
Guess we're all gonna go to Iowa then. It's cold up there.
Yeah, or North Dakota. North Dakota,
the country somewhere.
Yeah,
we might have to bring climate change with us on those states.
All right, so that's it. That brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Please continue the conversation by checking us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe. We're also on Instagram. Definitely subscribe to us there, but definitely Twitter. We're trying to build up our Twitter account. X. I'm sorry. Yes, X. We're trying to build up our X account. We don't really do much on there, but we're starting to put more and more content out there. So follow us on Twitter. We're at Pop and Politics on Twitter. And again, you guys can find us on YouTube at the same Pop in Politics. And subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us so we can always get up-to-the-minute content when we post, and we appreciate the support. I mean, you know, these platforms, although they do censor, they're kind of like how we can stay in touch. And you can also go on our website and sign up. You put in your email. We don't really send out emails, but we need to do this in case something like, you know, they censor us on these platforms or they remove us, so we can all stay in touch. We're a community, and, you know, we're all of like minds. We love our country. We love our freedoms. We have to tell people about it and share it. So also, we appreciate the donations, the super chatters. You can go on the website and donate also. We certainly appreciate it, and it does help us to continue our mission and cause. All right. Again, we look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.